Tonight on The Itch Outdoors, I am going to go through on how I prepare my deer jerky. I have a back strap from a buck I killed this past year, and I have all the ingredients laid out and all that stuff, and I'm just going to kind of go through on how I prepare it, what I do to it, and all that, and then let it marinate for 2 days. Well, 24 to 48 hours is what I normally like to do, but this time it'll be 2 days, and then I'll go through on dehydrating it and time and all that stuff. So let's get into this, and I'll show you how I do it. Alright, so here's the back strap. Has been nothing done to it since it was taken out of the deer. It's been in the freezer for, I don't know, a little over a month now, but I haven't trimmed anything off of it or anything like that yet. But what we'll have to do is this silver skin that's right here, we'll have to get that off, and then what I like to do is cut into about, I don't know, 4 to 6 inch sections of the back strap, and then I'll go through with a fillet knife and fillet it out real thin. I like probably like 1/8 of an inch thick is what I like to do. This is just a regular paring knife. I like to use it to cut my sections and kind of get like the fat off and stuff like that. Then I have 2 fillet knives, one of which is double-sided, which this comes in handy for getting off the silver skin stuff, because you can slide it in and then you can cut both ways, whether it's back or forward. Then this is just a regular fillet knife. Alright, before we get into what all I put in for my marinade and all that, I'm going to go through actually cutting up. I have one cutting board that I use for basically getting like fat off and cutting it into my sections that I'm going to use. Then I use another cutting board for actually slicing. Then I have, this is basically my trash, stuff that I don't use, and then this will be my bowl that I'm putting in my marinade. So let's get started here. I'm going to use my paring knife first to kind of just cut off some of this fattiness. Alright, so now that we've got that, basically the fat, it wasn't a whole lot. With the back strap like this, there's not usually a whole lot of actual fat to it. So now I'm going to cut into a couple of sections, and what I'll probably do is cut this in a little bit bigger sections first. I'll cut it into about 3 sections here, and then I will then go and try to get some of the silver skin off. It's just easier to work with a smaller piece. See how I can use this knife both forward and back? It's real nice to be able to get that silver skin off. Silver skin, I mean, you're not going to be able to get all of it off, but you can tell in your jerky, along with any of the cuts of meat that you end up cooking of venison. But it ends up being like chewy and just really hard to chew up. No. See how this piece right here has a long strip of silver skin right there. So I'm gonna get in there, lay it down like that. Try to get back. It's a lot like filleting a fish when you're getting this silver skin off. And not all your pieces are going to be pretty. It's not going to look like they just come out of a package of beef jerky or nothing like that. See, like this piece right here. So here's one piece. Let's see here. Here's one piece right here, and this is just a piece that I've gotten off of there that I was trying to clean up. This isn't actually one of the slices I take off, but this piece right here is still good to use. And what I'll probably do is, this end's pretty thin, but I'll try to trim this down and cut just a little bit. So even pieces like this are just fine to put in there. There's another, see, ugly pieces, but I mean, they still eat good. See, now I have a pretty thin piece right here, and I'm just gonna cut that one in half. And I don't know if you can see, there's still a little bit of fat in there and stuff. Alright, so I got this piece right here. Let's try to go into, there's a couple of pieces in there. Try to cut that out. Let's do it like this right here. Alright, so here is basically a section of the whole tenderloin. If you can tell, I don't know if you can tell or not. See, there's a little bit of fat in there and stuff. That's okay. I need to get this piece off right here, actually. But it's pretty clean for the most part. So this piece right here, what I'll do is actually start making like some small fillets with it. I'll cut it in half. Then see that right there? There's one piece of jerky right there. Down, just like filleting a fish. Try to get them thin. Don't take as long to dehydrate. That one got a little thick. I don't know if you can see how thin it is. Here's roughly how big it is. I'll show you with my hand. That piece right there is about that big. Now it'll shrink up in the dehydrator. That's about how thick it is. See if we can compare it to my finger right here. About 1/8 of an inch or so. And you're going to get some just like little chunk pieces that end up coming off. Throw it in the thing. Little pieces of jerky is just as good as the larger ones. Smaller pieces start to get a little tricky with getting them out. That right there is an excellent slice right there. I usually get a little bit better as I go on. Oh yeah, they're coming now. Look at that. It's a good piece right there. thingy. Here we go. So this one has a big piece of silver on the back. So what I'm going to do is you can get just underneath there. See that? There's a little bit of meat on the back side, but I mean, as you can see through it. There's that. I still got a little bit on there to trim off. Bunch of fatty meat right there. Really, this is the easiest cut to do jerky with, because there's not a lot of different cuts in it. It's just one, one thing of meat, and so you're not having to fight the way that the meat's going and all that stuff. See this piece right here, just clean, as clean can be. There ain't no fat on it or anything. So I'm actually just gonna start filleting on this sucker. Might be able to get a good long strip. It's a pretty good one. That's another pretty good one right there. As you can see, I'm just throwing them in this bowl. Again, here's my trash bowl. And you have a good sharp knife. Makes a world of difference right here. You don't have to force it. I'm starting to get a little thick. Just chunk off right here. This meat is just so tender. I can just feel how tender this is, and that's why it makes, oh man. If you do like a ham or something and make it into jerky and then do a back strap, it's a night and day difference. Now I don't do all my back straps in the jerky. I do some of them. I like to eat back strap few different ways. Nope, already messed up. I might be able to do it on the next one. As you start doing it, it gets flat. I don't know if you can tell. Let's see if you can tell. You can tell, see how it gets more flat, and you kind of make it all even as the first couple cuts. That makes it a ton easier after that. Oh yeah, here we go. Here's it going. See this one right here? That's a great one. They don't always come out like that, but that one right there was a good one. I thought I cut my hand. Pretty good one. See, this side over here is getting a little higher, so I'll just trim a little bit off of it, make it back pretty even. Which I'm right-handed, so that's why I keep starting from the right. Just with a little thicker. Still a good one though. That's a really good one. When I get closer to the bottom, I like to use this knife because I can go backwards. It's got the double blade on it, double sided blade, so I can kind of go both ways. That's why I like to use it on that silver skin too. I can start in the middle, get a good grip on there. Tell you what, y'all comment below some of y'all's jerky recipes. Oh, it's a little thick. But comment below some of y'all's jerky recipes, and let me know if you try out this one. That's what's left over, and that's a great piece. Alright, so I probably got, I don't know, 2.5 pounds of actual meat right here in this bowl. And then that's all the trash that I had left over, which is really good. That's great. Alright, I'm going to run through real quick of what I put in, what I'm putting in this batch. Like I said, normally I just go to the cupboard, to the refrigerator, grab a mixture of things, and throw them all together. Usually, actually I've never had one turn out bad, so let's keep our fingers crossed that doesn't happen. I stick to a lot of the same things, but you know, here and there I'll add a little bit of something else and stuff like that. Also, measurements, there isn't any. You can't make anything good with exact measurements. It just don't work like that. So anyways, let's start off here. Alright, so let's focus. Alright, let's start off here with basically my main base to this marinade. And this right here is sorghum. Okay. Alright, let's start with my main base to this marinade. This right here is sorghum molasses. My wife's grandfather actually makes this in the mountains of North Carolina. Check out Harrow Hill Farms. They are in Bakersville, North Carolina. But this is some good stuff. This is what I use for my base. I put a little bit of some apple cider vinegar in there. Little Worcestershire sauce. Here's a little bit of sriracha. Black pepper, give it a little spice. Onion powder. Little chili powder, again add a little spice. Crushed red pepper, again add a little spice. Some garlic powder for some flavor. Brown sugar, I think this is a key. Also, the molasses helps give it a little sweet taste, but the brown sugar gives it that sweet taste, and it also kind of helps everything kind of stick in there. And last, salt. Gotta add some salt. Alright, so like I said, I'm gonna start with molasses. This is a little bit of I have a little bit in this jar left, so I'm gonna start with this one. And you might see me as I go add a little bit more. Yeah, this one's not gonna have enough in there. Gotta excuse me. Gotta add a little bit more. Fresh can. Oh yeah. Alright. Again, like I said, there's no measurements, so I do it all by just the eye. About drop the lid. Alright, next we're going to go with a little bit of some vinegar. Not much of this, just about that much. I think that just gives it, I don't know, a little bit of acidic flavor to it. I don't know, it's just something that I like. I like vinegar, so. Alright, now we'll start with a couple of these seasonings. Let's go right here. This is the garlic powder. Here is some onion powder. Now we're going to go with, now with the chili powder and the crushed red pepper and the sriracha. I'm not going to do a whole lot because for obvious reasons you don't want it to be crazy spicy. Sriracha. Okay. So, these are all good. Now we're going to add a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. We'll do some pepper. I like some pepper on there. Gives it, again, it gives it that kick. Alright, salt. Do a decent amount of salt. It kind of helps cure it more so. Alright, and then brown sugar. I'm going to grab a spoon. And some brown sugar. And try to sprinkle it around so it doesn't clump up too bad. Well, I did a fantastic job with that. A little bit more. Okay. Alright, so I'm actually going to take the spoon and kind of stir it up. Kind of see the consistency of it. And it's actually pretty good consistency. Now, you'll see that, which I'll show you, in about a day, tomorrow, what I'll do is I will shake it a little bit, help get things turned around, but it'll also soak up a lot of that liquid, which I'll show y'all that. No, you know what? I'm gonna leave it just like that. That's pretty good. All right, but I started up pretty good. I'll really try to get. If you see anything sticking in certain places, you try to get it off of there. If you see, notice there's not much liquid in the bottom. It's already stuck to it. See, there's only just a little bit in there, and all that will actually soak up. Okay, so have it in there. Then make sure that you put it in a container with a lid. Okay. Give it a couple good shakes, really get it shook up, and you're ready to go in the refrigerator. Marinade for, like I said, 24 to 48 hours is what I typically would do it for. So let's put it in the refrigerator, and here in about 2 days we're going to put it on the dehydrator. Alright, so the jerky has been marinating for a little over 48 hours. So today we're gonna put it on the dehydrator. Typically between 8-10 hours is what I normally do it, depending on the thickness. But let's put it on there and get to cooking. Alright, normally start out on medium. So we're gonna click that over and get that going and start putting it on there. When you lay it down, you want to try to flatten it out as best as you can. Still smells so good. Remember I was talking about how it'll soak up most of the liquid. You see how it's like it's not dripping or anything because it's done soaked everything up. That's a good thing. It means all the flavor and everything's in the meat. I got 5 racks, so should have enough room to put all this on there. I'll load it with brown sugar. I can't wait. Cannot wait. I don't know if y'all can hear my kids. My son's birthday is singing on McDonald How to Farm in the background. So here's about after 2 hours, still pretty squishy. So what is that next side? But we're getting there. Making the house smell good, at least I think. I don't know if you can notice how there's a lot more room on these trays now because all the pieces have shrunk up now. Right, so there's that one. That's going to be such a good piece of jerky. I think this is going to turn out so good. That piece. My pizza's done. A couple of these pieces, the thinner ones, that one's done too. Woo! Well, guys, it's definitely got some kick to it. Holy moly!
I ate some of my hot dog.
So keep eating.
It's not too hot, Daddy. Just a little bit.
Huh?
It's a little bit hot, but not so hot.
Alright. Well, I got a few pieces that are done. That's pretty good. It's got a real nice sweet taste to it, but then with the pepper and the crushed pepper and all that stuff, and the sriracha, gives it a little bit of kick. That's some good stuff right there. So now what I'll do, I know some pieces are getting done. What I did is I actually end up, as I take the trays off to flip them, I stack them on, I take the top one off, put it then goes on the bottom, so on and so forth. So then when I put it back on, everything is flipped. Because the bottom trays are the ones that have a few pieces that are done. But I'll probably give it like another hour and a half or so. I'll check again for some done pieces and slowly take them off as they get finished. So I'd say that's been about 5 hours, a little over 5 hours, about 5.5 hours. And here within the next probably 3-ish hours, they should all be done. So stay tuned. Alright, here's the last ones on here. We have been on here for right at 10 hours, a little bit more. I'm going to put these last couple on in the bag. Turn it on. Deal. Hey, Bert.
What?
Alright, Bert, what you got?
Jerky.
Is it good? Did Daddy do a good job? Yeah? Alright. Tell everybody bye.
Bye.
Alright, well, thank y'all for tagging along with me. I hope y'all enjoyed the jerky video. Turned out really good. I was eating it as I was taking it off. But we got a pretty good bag of jerky out of all that. Like I said, raw meat is probably around 2 pounds or so. But got about a half a gallon Ziploc bag full of jerky now. But again, let me know any jerky recipes that you do. Comment them below, and don't forget to subscribe. I appreciate y'all.